85-year-old grandmother Catherine was on her way to visit her granddaughter in Hearst. But she never made it home. As they crossed Old Shurham Road in Howe, a speeding car came out of nowhere. Behind the wheel, Adrian Fasson, reckless and high on cocaine and amphetamines. He didn't stop. He didn't slow down. He showed no mercy. That night, a peaceful family moment turned into a blood-soaked tragedy. This was not just an accident. It was a crime. A crime fueled by drugs, speed, and sheer negligence. The lives of an innocent grandmother and her granddaughter gone. One decision, one criminal act, an entire family shattered, and now, the punishment for Adrian Fasson is one that will shock everyone who hears this story. Catherine E. Hearst, an 85-year-old grandmother with a smile that lit up every room. She lived a life of love, sacrifice, and unshakable commitment to her family. Not just a mother, not just a grandmother, but a great-grandmother, a neighbor, a friend. To the world, she was Mrs. Hearst, soft-spoken, kind-hearted, always ready to help, always ready to listen. Her days had a rhythm: morning tea with the newspaper, a phone call to her granddaughter, an evening stroll to run errands. She was full of life, living independently, believing that as long as her hands and feet worked, life should keep moving, keep shining. Her weekends? Filled with love, cooking her granddaughter's favorite meals, bringing sweets for the little ones, never missing a single family gathering. And in every picture, that smile, that twinkle in her eye. Catherine wasn't just part of her family. She was the center of it, the glue that held generations together. A mother to some, a grandmother to others, and a living prayer for all. Her passing didn't just leave a chair empty. It left behind a silence, a broken rhythm, and the loss of a heart that beat for everyone else. It was September 2nd, 2017, an ordinary day of the week. The weather was mildly warm, slightly overcast, with a touch of humidity in the air. Old Shoreham Road, a busy and well-known stretch in Hove, was alive as usual with the flow of daily life. People were out and about. Traffic moved steadily, and pedestrians crossed the street in a steady stream. It was the afternoon, around 3 p.m., when Catherine E. Hearst, with her small purse in hand, stepped onto the road to visit her granddaughter. She always walked carefully, only crossing at signals, and that day was no exception. But fate can be merciless. Suddenly, a black Toyota Celica came speeding through, blasting past the signal without slowing down. It was too fast, too sudden. There was no time to react. Behind the wheel, Adrian Fasson. No brakes, no attempt to slow down. Just a split second, and then a thunderous crash. People stopped. Screams echoed through the street, and on the cold, hard ground lay Catherine's lifeless body, still and silent. Time seemed to freeze. Passers-by rushed to help. Some called an ambulance. Others desperately tried to revive her, but it was too late. Just moments before, she had been smiling, thinking of her granddaughter. Now she was gone, forever. Later, CCTV footage of the incident emerged. It showed everything clearly. The car ran the red light, its speed dangerously high. Catherine, crossing cautiously, unaware that death was racing straight toward her. One eyewitness said, "We just heard a loud noise, turned around, and she was already on the ground." It was all over in seconds. A life ended, a history erased, a family broken. Adrian Fasson, on the surface an ordinary man, a 30-year-old with no prior convictions. But on that day, the recklessness hiding beneath his calm appearance was fully exposed. After the crash, when police arrived and arrested him, there was no sign of remorse. In fact, he barely seemed conscious. From the very beginning, officers suspected he was under the influence. A blood test was ordered immediately, and when the results came back, it was shocking. Adrian's bloodstream contained dangerously high levels of cocaine and amphetamines. Not only was he driving at nearly twice the legal speed limit, he was completely intoxicated. This wasn't just carelessness. It was a conscious decision, a decision to risk his life and the lives of others. When Adrian Fasson stood in court, there was no regret on his face, no shame, no apology. Catherine's family sat in the courtroom, their eyes asking a single painful question: is our mother's life worth just a few minutes of his intoxication? The prosecution laid out the full picture: CCTV footage, eyewitness accounts, and medical reports confirming his drug use. They argued this was not a tragic mistake. It was a preventable crime, a deliberate act of negligence, that ended in the death of an innocent woman. Taking all the evidence into account, the court sentenced Adrian Fasson to 5 years in prison and banned him from driving for 6 years. For Catherine's family, the verdict offered a measure of closure, but never full justice, because no sentence, no punishment, can bring back the woman they lost, a mother, a grandmother, the heart of their home, gone forever. Outside the courtroom, Catherine's daughter and granddaughter spoke to the media, but their tears wouldn't stop. Through broken voices and trembling lips, they said, "We didn't just lose our mother. We lost the light of our home, the woman who told stories to our children, our greatest strength." To them, the 5-year prison sentence felt like nothing. No punishment could fill the void that had torn through their lives. No verdict could bring peace to the pain they now carried every single day. The family also delivered a powerful message to the public. Driving is not just a skill, it's a responsibility. If you're under the influence, you're not just risking your own life, you're gambling with someone else's. This story is not just about Catherine's tragic death. It's a warning to society. Every person who drives intoxicated is a potential killer. One careless decision, one moment of reckless freedom, can destroy an entire family. Catherine is no longer with us, but her story lives on, as a lesson, as a voice, as a haunting question. Are we truly safe? And is our justice system strong enough to save someone else's grandmother tomorrow? If Catherine's story moved you, if it made you think twice about responsibility behind the wheel, then don't let her voice fade away. Like, comment, and subscribe to help us share stories that matter, stories that can save lives. Stay aware, stay safe, and never forget, one decision can change everything.